I am Dr. T. Narasimhaiah, working as Senior Professor in Commerce and Management Studies at Srimati Danamma Channabasavaya College of Arts, Commerce, Science and Management Studies, Kola. Today I am going to cover the subject corporate accounting. In that one, the topic is mergers and acquisitions, prescribed for BCom 4th semester. Before the commencement of practical problems, let me see the theoretical background applicable for the topic mergers and acquisitions. As we know, merger means combination of two companies, that is combination of two companies which are running in nature by forming a new company. By forming a new company, that is, whenever two running or two old companies join together by means of formation of a new company. In other words, we can say in the accounting treatment we are going to assume that the old companies are going to sell their business to the new company. Here in accounting language, business means assets and liabilities. So when two running or existing companies are going to sell their assets and liabilities to a new company, and that new company is formed by themselves, that a kind of a process of combination of two companies is technically called as merger. So then the another is acquisition. The acquisition is also a concept of merging of two companies, but in this case the merging takes place by way of sale of one existing company to the another existing company. In this process, formation of new company cannot take place. The difference is that both are the way the process of combination of companies. In case of merger, combination takes place by way of formation of a new company, but in case of this one, what calls acquisition, the combination is by means of purchase of one company by the another company, or one company is going to sell its business to the another company. That is, acquisition is sale of business of one company to another existing company. The practical procedure applicable for both the methods, that is merger and also acquisition, is similar. Therefore, the two concepts are brought under the same head called mergers and acquisitions. Okay. So, in respect of this mergers and acquisitions, in a practical sense, there are many methods are there. Okay. Moreover, before the commencement of the methods or accounting procedure applicable in case of mergers and acquisitions, we have to see that in case of merger and also in case of acquisition, there are two groups of companies. One group of company or one company is, that is the selling company or vendor company. Another company is the purchasing company. The accounting procedure takes place both in case of vendor company and purchasing companies. That is, the companies are companies in that is merger and acquisitions are, there are two kinds of companies. One is called vendor companies and another is purchasing company. Vendor company means the companies which are going to sell their business to a new company or another company is called vendor companies, or they may also be called as a selling companies. This is selling company, and the company which is going to acquire the business of vendor companies, that a company is to be called as a purchasing company. So in respect of the accounting procedure here, in the first step is, that is, calculation of purchase consideration. Calculation of purchase consideration. The second one is, that is, discharge of purchase consideration. These two methods, or the first two steps are common even in case of purchasing company, that is calculation of PC, and the second one is, that is, discharge of PC. That is, calculation of purchase consideration and also discharge of purchase consideration is common both for the vendor company accounting procedure and also for the purchasing company accounting procedure. After that one, after the calculation of discharge of purchase consideration here, that is preparation of necessary ledgers. Necessary ledgers is the third step, and fourth step is that is passing of closing journal entries. There are the four common steps applicable in case of vendor or selling companies. The first step is calculation of purchase consideration. Following the purchase consideration, next we have to see the discharge of the purchase consideration, and then finally the third step is preparation of the necessary ledgers, and finally there is the passing of closing journal entries, because here the vendor or selling companies are going to close their business, hence why we have to pass the closing journal entries in respect of the vendor companies. In respect of this purchasing company, as I already told you that the first step is the calculation of purchase consideration, second one is the discharge of purchase consideration, and the third step is that is passing of opening journal entries, or this may also be called as incorporation entries. Incorporation entries, and then here the last step is that is preparation of new balance sheet. Preparation of new balance sheet. Okay, they are the common accounting procedure or accounting steps takes place in case of vendor company as well as in the purchasing company. In this session, let me to see how the purchase consideration is to be calculated and how the discharge of fees is to be calculated. Okay. Now let me see how the purchase consideration is to be calculated and how the discharge is to be calculated in this step. As we know, purchase consideration is nothing but the purchase price payable by the purchasing company to the vendor company. In other words, it is the selling price to the vendor company, purchasing price to the purchasing company, and selling price to the selling company payable by the purchasing company to the vendor company for the acquisition of assets and liabilities, or in other words, for the acquisition of business of the vendor company. Okay, so the calculation of purchase consideration takes place, that is types or methods of calculation of purchase consideration. In the calculation of purchase consideration, basically there are three methods. One is called as lump sum payment method. The second one is net asset method, and third one is net payment method. Here, lump sum payment method in the sense, under this method, a value is to be fixed for the business of the vendor company like an action, where individual assets and liabilities cannot be taken into account. The valuation for each and every asset and liability taken by the purchasing company cannot be observed here. Taking the lot of all the assets and liabilities, once for all we are going to fix the value for the business of the vendor company. That method is to be called as a lump sum payment method. So in respect of this method, calculation of purchase consideration does not arise, because the lump sum amount fixed in the model of an action is to be given in the under this method. Therefore, practical calculation of purchase consideration does not arise in lump sum payment method. So under the second method called net asset method, net in the sense that is the remaining. Under net asset method, the purchase consideration is calculated by using the formula that is assets minus liabilities. Assets in the sense only the assets which are to be taken over by the purchasing company. Only the assets taken over by the purchasing company at their market or agreed values. From the assets taken over at the market values, we have to give deduction of that is outside liabilities here. Outside liabilities in the sense the liabilities which not belongs to the shareholders or the liabilities which are belongs to the outside peoples, like that is the debenture holders, bank peoples, or any other current liabilities are to be called as outside liabilities. So here under net asset method, PC is equal to market value of assets taken over minus market value of outside liabilities accepted by the purchasing company. And under the third method, net payment method. Under net payment method, the purchase consideration is calculated by applying the provisions of accounting standard 14. That is called AS 14. According to AS 14, purchase consideration includes only the payment made to shareholders. Shareholders in the sense that is equity shareholders and preference shareholders. But any payments made by the purchasing company towards the outside liabilities like debenture holders or bankers or any other current liabilities cannot be included in the purchase consideration. It means as per the conditions laid down under AS 14, purchase consideration is the payment made to only shareholders, that is equity and preference, and the payments made to the outside liabilities cannot be included. The payment to outside liabilities are to be shown in the books of the purchasing company, in the sense that in the vendor company outside liabilities are technically transferred to the purchasing company, and the settlement of outside liabilities are to be shown in the books of the purchasing company. They are the two basic conditions stated under AS 14 that should be applied to the calculation of purchase consideration under AS, that is net payment method. Here we have to follow AS 14 conditions. Okay, condition, first condition of the AS 14 is that the purchase consideration includes only the payment made to the equity and preference shareholders. Condition number 2, the payment made to the outside liabilities cannot be included in the PC. They have to be shown as a discharge in the books of the purchasing company. Now, taking all these concepts, what we have to follow in case of net asset method and net payment method, that is practical calculation of purchase consideration arises only in respect of net asset method and net payment method. Let me see how practically they holds good. Taking few examples, let me see how the purchase consideration is to be calculated under net asset method. Where net asset method, the PC is equal to market value of assets minus market value of outside liabilities. In respect of this one of the question given in the year 2007, Bangalore City, Bangalore, calculate purchase consideration. The information given in respect of that one, total assets at book value 5 lakhs. Assets are taken at 10% less than the book value. Total liabilities 2 lakhs. Liabilities not taken over is equal to 50,000. Liquidation expenses rupees 5,000 are to be borne by the purchasing company. This is the information given regarding the calculation of purchase consideration. See, by observing this problem, here only the information of assets and the liabilities are given. Payments made by the purchasing company towards the discharge of the PC is not given. Therefore, by comparing this information, we can conclude the purchase consideration is to be calculated under net asset method. That is, for the calculation of PC under net asset method, we need the information of assets and liabilities taken over by the purchasing company. In respect of this content, here the information given is only the assets and liabilities taken by the purchasing company. Hence, the suitable method of PC applicable in this case is net asset method. Simply we can say net asset method is applicable when the information of assets and liabilities taken over by the purchasing company is given, irrespective of the value. Market value may be given or may not be given. The concept is there, we have to apply, but we need the basic information of assets and liabilities taken over by the purchasing company. So, taking the first question as an example, let me see how the purchase consideration is to be calculated. Taking the practical problem of the examination 2007 Bangalore City, Bangalore, has the information given the total assets at book value. So under net asset method, PC is equal to A minus L, expressions in terms of mathematics. The mathematical formula is to be presented in the accounting statement as below. Now it is first of all book value of assets. The book value of assets given is rupees 5 lakhs. As for the information given, assets are taken at 10% less than the book value. Less in the sense we have to give deduction here, less 10% of book value, that is 10% of 5 lakhs rupees, 50,000 rupees will come there. So therefore here market value of assets taken is equal to 4 lakhs 50,000 rupees. Total book value of the assets is 5 lakhs. As per the agreement made between the purchasing company and vendor company, these assets are to be taken over at a 10% less than their book value, that is 10% of 5 lakhs is equal to 50,000. Therefore, market value or taken over value of the assets is 4 lakh 50,000. From this one, minus liabilities here, that is less. Which liabilities here? Especially outside liabilities. So in respect of the liabilities, they are given total liabilities first of all. Total liabilities given rupees 2 lakhs. From the total liabilities not taken over, that is less. Liabilities not taken over. The liabilities not taken over given is rupees 50,000. So therefore, liabilities taken over, liabilities taken over is equal to 1,50,000 rupees. So total market value of assets is 4,50,000 and market value of liabilities taken over by the purchasing company is rupees 1,50,000. Therefore, net value is 4,50,000 minus 1,50,000 is equal to 3 lakhs. So 3 lakhs is the purchase consideration in this case. Purchase consideration. The first step is the calculation of purchase consideration. Later on we have to see the discharge of purchase consideration. Here discharge in the sense the way or modes in which the amount payable in the name of purchase consideration is paid by the purchasing company in which modes. Okay, that is how or in which sources the amount of purchase consideration is paid by the purchasing company to the vendor company is technically called as a discharge. So, in respect of the discharge in this problem, they are not given any information. So, whenever any information about the discharge or modes of discharge is not given, as per practice or as per law, we have to assume that the total purchase consideration is settled only in the form of equity shares. Okay. So, payment of purchase consideration in full or at least a minimum amount in the form of equity shares is compulsory as per accounting standard number 14. So therefore, here we have to assume that the whole rupees 3 lakh is to be discharged by the purchasing company only in the equity shares. Therefore, preparation or showing the statement of discharge of purchase consideration does not arise in this problem. The second problem for this calculation of purchase consideration related to the problem given in the Bangalore University, Bangalore during the year 2009. The accounting information is value of assets as per the balance sheet 25 lakhs 12,750. Agreed value of assets taken over rupees 18 lakhs 21,570. Liabilities as per the balance sheet rupees 3 lakhs 21,570. Liabilities not taken over rupees 21,570. So by observing this problem, we can conclude only the information of assets and the liabilities taken over by the purchasing company is given. Therefore, the method of PC applicable is net asset method. That is where PC is equal to assets minus liabilities. So the method of PC applicable for this problem is net asset method, where under net asset method purchase consideration is equal to assets minus liabilities. Means from the total market value of assets, we have to give deduct of market value of liabilities accepted by the purchasing company. So as per the information given, value of assets as per balance sheet rupees 25 lakhs 12,750, that is the book value of assets of vendor company. That is not necessary for us. The information required in this case particularly is market value of assets taken by the purchasing company, not the market book value of the assets existing in the vendor company. Therefore, as per the point number B, agreed value of assets taken over, that it is given, that is agreed value of assets taken over is equal to, that is 18 lakhs 21,570. Then from this one we have to give deduction of outside liabilities taken over. Outside liabilities taken over. So in respect of the liabilities, the information given in the point number C and the point number D. The point number C states that liabilities as per the balance sheet, that is book value of liabilities. The value appearing in the balance sheet is nothing but drawn from the books, hence why it may also be called as a book value of liabilities. The book value of liabilities is rupees 3,21,570. From this one, as per the point number D, liabilities not taken over. From this one, not taken over is to be deducted, that is liabilities not taken over is rupees, that is 21,570. So therefore, actual value of liabilities taken over is equal to 3 lakhs. So now this is the market value of asset, that is A. This is the market value of liabilities, that is L. So A minus L in the sense 18 lakhs 21,570 minus of 3 that is minus of 3 lakhs is equal to, that is 15 lakhs 21,570 is the purchase consideration in this case. So even in this problem also, the way of discharge of the purchase consideration is not given. Therefore, as per the rule of accounting standard number 14, we have to assume that the total amount of 15 lakhs 21,570 of purchase consideration is settled by the purchasing company by means of issue of equity shares. That is the only one more. The next problem, based on the same model, that is net asset method, is a problem given in 2009. That is, Bindu Limited was agreed to absorb by Sindhu Limited. Bindu Limited was agreed to absorb means purchase by Sindhu. Here, Sindhu company is the purchasing company, Bindu company is the vendor company. On 31st March 2019, on that date, the balance sheet of Bindu Limited was as follows. So on the asset side, they are given fixed assets 9 lakhs, current assets excluding cash 1,60,000 and cash 40,000. On the liability side, they are given equity share capital 50,000 shares of rupees 10 each 5 lakhs, 5% debentures 1,20,000, general reserve 2 lakhs, profit and loss account 1,50,000, creditors 1,30,000. Total balance sheet on both sides is 11 lakhs. Below the balance sheet, the additional information given is Sindhu Limited agreed to acquire, means purchase fixed assets at 10% more than book values, but current assets are valued only at rupees 1,50,000. The purchase consideration was paid 50% in the shares of rupees 10 each and balance in cash. Determine the purchase consideration and also show the discharge of purchase consideration. This is the accounting information given in the problem. So, under net asset method, as given here, purchase consideration is equal to market value of assets taken by the purchasing company minus market value of outside liabilities taken over by the purchasing company. So first of all, we have to take up assets, that is market value of assets taken over. As for the additional information, Sindhu Limited agreed to acquire fixed assets at 10% more than book value. So that is first of all here book value of fixed assets. Book value of fixed assets appearing in the balance sheet is rupees 9 lakhs. And they are accepted to take 10% more than book value, more in the sense add 10% of book value, 10% of 9 lakhs comes to rupees 90,000. Therefore, market value of fixed assets is 9 lakhs 90,000 is the market value of the fixed assets taken over, and then that is current assets taken over. Current assets taken over. Here, current assets taken over value is directly given. Calculation is not necessary. That comes to rupees 1,50,000. And here they are not stated anything about the cash. You have to assume that cash is also taken over. So cash is rupees 40,000. So whenever, either in the case of merger or in the case of acquisition, any information about assets not taken over, if not taken over information is not given, we have to assume that the assets are taken over by the company. Hence why the information of taken over or not taken over of cash is not given. Therefore, I am going to assume here the cash is also taken over by the purchasing company. Therefore, here total market value of assets taken over is equal to assets taken over is equal to, here it is 14, 18, 10, 11. 11 lakhs 80,000 is the market value of assets taken over by the purchasing company. From the assets, we have to give reduction of less, that is outside liabilities. The information about the outside liabilities taken over by the purchasing company is not given. Therefore, we are going to assume that what all the outside liabilities are there, they are to be taken over by the purchasing company. The outside liabilities appearing in the given balance sheet is, the first one is 5% debentures. 5% debentures amounted to 1,20,000, and the another item is the creditors. So creditors amounted to 1,30,000. Then there are the only two outside liabilities appearing here. That is, then total outside liabilities taken over is equal to, in total this is 2,50,000 rupees. So A, that is assets taken over, is rupees 11,80,000, and liabilities, that is L, is equal to 2,50,000. Now A minus L, in the sense here 80 minus 50 is equal to 30,000, and here 11 minus 2 is equal to 9 lakhs. Then total PC is equal to 9,30,000 is the purchase consideration payable. So in addition to the calculation of purchase consideration in the problem, it is directed that also show the discharge of purchase consideration. So especially they are given to show the discharge of PC. Therefore, we have to show here, that is discharge of purchase consideration. Here also we have to draw a statement, because in accounting, whatever the language we need to use, the language is to be presented in the form of a statement, that is particulars rupees. As for the given information, the purchase consideration was paid 50% in shares. That is, first one is payment in shares. That is 50% of rupees 9,30,000. So 9,30,000, 50%, that's 4 plus 4,50,000 plus 50. 4,65,000 is the amount paid in the form of shares, that is 50%. 4,60,000, and the second payment is, that is payment in cash, that also 50% of PC, that comes also 4,65,000. So total payment is equal to 9,30,000 is the total payment. So for the purpose of discharge of the PC, the modes or sources available is compulsorily equity shares. The whole amount is to be payable only in the form of equity shares. If not, at least minimum amount is to be payable in the equity shares. After the payment of at least minimum amount in the equity shares, the remaining amount is to be payable in three modes, that is debenture, preferred shares, debentures, and cash. All the three other components may be composed in total, or out of the three, any one or two may be taken in addition to the equity shares. But in this problem, they are particularly stated that 50% of 9,30,000 PC is to be payable in the form of shares, and the remaining balance in the form of cash. Therefore, payment in the form of preference shares and debentures does not arise in this problem. Okay, so this is the information related to the problem number 3. The first step is calculation of purchase consideration. The second step is discharge of PC. Discharge is made in the form of only equity shares and cash. Problem number 4. This is also framed on net asset method. It is a personally created one. Here the balance sheet is given. Following is the balance sheet of C Limited and D Limited as at 31st March 2008. So here two companies are given. Let me see whether the two companies are going to sell or one company is going to acquire the another company. At the end we have to decide. So within the balance sheet they are given land and building, plant and machinery, stock, debtors and cash. Land and building, plant and machinery, they are the fixed assets. Stock, debtors and cash, they are the current assets as appearing in the balance sheet. On the liability side, they are given equity share capital, reserves and surpluses, 12% debentures and creditors. So among the four, the first two, equity share capital and reserves and surpluses, they are the owned liabilities, means belongs to the legal owners of the company, whereas 12% debentures and creditors, they are the outside liabilities which are to be payable to the outside investors. And then has an additional information, it is stated that C and D amalgamate their business and form a new company called DC Limited. The assets of both the companies are valued as follows. Fixed assets 25% more, stock 15% less and debtors 10% less. The purchase consideration is discharged by issue to both companies sufficient number of equity shares of rupees 10 each in DC Limited at an agreed value of rupees 12 rupees 50 paise per share. Calculate purchase consideration and state the number of equity shares issued to each company. So here there are two companies, that is C and D. Individually they are working as a separate entities. Later on, for the purpose of objective or achievement of certain objectives, they are decided to combine together. That is, C and D both are amalgamate. In the case of amalgamation, C and D are the old or existing companies. They are going to sell their business to a new company called DC Limited. That too, the new company is to be formed by the old companies. Combination of two old companies by way of formation of the new company, what is called as merger or amalgamation, already stated in the theory. So DC Limited, and for the purpose of taking over of business of D and C by the DC Limited, they are given the values of certain assets and liabilities. The values given in respect of assets and liabilities is to be adopted for the calculation of purchase consideration that we see. So the information given is fixed assets 25% more. The 25% increase in the fixed asset is not stated in respect of a particular company. Therefore, we have to assume that 25% more condition is applicable to both the companies here. So therefore, fixed assets are land and building and plant and machinery. To reduce the clerical work, let me to take up fixed assets at book values, that is balance sheet values. That is, plant and machinery of C Limited is 2,50,000 and whereas D Limited is 2,75,000. And these fixed assets are acquired at 10% more than their book value. Therefore, more in the sense we have to add here, add 25% of book value. So 25% of 2,50,000 is equal to 1,25,000 plus 50 plus 12.5, that is 62,500. Whereas here this is 1 lakh plus 70 means 35. 2.5 is equal to 1,37,500 here. Then the total market value of fixed assets, that is market value of fixed assets is equal to, here this is 500 to 13, 3,12,500. Here it is 5 to 4,12,500 the value. That is the market value of fixed assets taken over. Then stock 15% less. Here stock value as appearing in the balance sheet of the two companies is rupees 75,000. each. And from this one, we have to deduct 15%. 15% of 75,000 into 15%, that is 75,000 into 15% is equal to 11,250. So after the deduction of 11,250 from the 75,000, we are going to get here 63,750 each of the companies. That is 63,750 because the stock in both the companies is 75,000 each. Then after they are stated at debtors 10% less, that is debtors in the C and D is rupees 25,000 and 50,000, that is 25,000 and 50,000 here minus 10%. 10% of 25,000 comes to 2,500 and 50,000 is equal to 5,000. So therefore, after the deduction of 10% here, 25,000 minus 2,500 is equal to 22,500 and here this is 45,000 rupees. That is the market value of debtors taken over. After the debtors, cash is there. In respect of cash, we are not stated anything. Therefore, we have to assume cash is also taken over. Cash to the cash market value is not applicable. That is to be taken over at the book value in all the types. That is 10,000 each. So therefore, here market value of assets taken over. Assets taken over is equal to here fixed assets 3,12,500 and then stock is 63,750 plus 22,500 plus 10,000 is equal to 4,11,250 and then here it is 4,12,500 plus 63,750 plus 45,000 plus 10,000 is equal to 5,31,250 is the market value of assets taken over. From the market value of assets taken over, we have to give deduction of liabilities, that is less outside liabilities. So information about the outside liabilities taken over by the purchasing company is not given. Therefore, we are going to assume that all the outside liabilities are taken over, that is 12% debentures in the C company and D company. C company is rupees 1 lakh and D company also rupees 1 lakh. Then creditors are rupees 60,000. Here also it is 60,000. Same values are appearing. Therefore, here market value of liabilities is equal to 1,60,000 each. And finally, now the purchase consideration, this is the L here, purchase consideration is equal to, that is assets minus liabilities. It is the A, that is assets market value, that is in respect of company C 4,11,250 minus 1,60,000 is equal to 2,51,250 and in respect of company D, it is 5,31,250 minus of 1,60,000 is equal to 3,71,250. This is the amount of purchase consideration applicable to this problem. In addition to the calculation of purchase consideration, they are directed us to calculate state the number of equity shares issued to each company. To calculate the number of equity shares, the formula is, that is, number of equity shares is equal to amount of purchase consideration divided by issue price per share. Taking this formula as the base, the number of shares in case of company C is equal to, that is, 2,51,250 divided by issue price per share is given rupees 12.50, that is 12 rupees 50 paise. It is equal to 2,51,250 divided by 12.5 is equal to, that is 20,100 shares. 20,100 shares, and for the D Limited it is 3,71,250 divided by 12 rupees 50 paise is equal to 71,250 divided by 12.5. This is 29,700 shares. That is, the formula applicable for the calculation of number of shares is the amount of purchase consideration divided by the issue price. Here it means to the C company, the DC company, that the purchasing company is going to issue 20,100 shares of rupees 10 each. Face value in this case is rupees 10, whereas they are going to issue the shares at a premium of rupees 2 rupees 50 paise. Face value 10, premium 2 rupees 50 paise, issue price is 12 rupees 50 paise. In the same context, here the DC Limited, the new company is going to issue 29,700 shares of rupees 10 each at a premium of 2 rupees 50 paise per share to the D Limited. So this is the calculation of PC and discharge of PC. The discharge is made only in the form of shares. That too, the shares are 20,100 to the C company, 29,700 to D company. Prior to this topic, we learned about the calculation of purchase consideration under net asset method. Now let us cover the calculation of purchase consideration under net payment method. When the purchase consideration is to be calculated under net payment method, especially you have to follow the rules stated under accounting standard number 14. The rules stated in accounting standard number 14 denote two sets of rules. One is what is to be included in the purchase consideration and what not to be included in the purchase consideration. So, as for AS 14, the purchase consideration includes. Prior to this topic, we learned about the calculation of purchase consideration under net asset method. Let us now cover the calculation of purchase consideration under net payment method. Whenever the purchase consideration is to be calculated under net payment method, compulsorily we have to follow the provisions or rules stated under accounting standard number 14. In general, the accounting standard number 14 states that what is to be included in the purchase consideration and what not to be included in the purchase consideration. It is the summary as per the observation of the rules stated by the AS 14. So, as for AS 14, purchase consideration includes the number one, that is the payment to equity shareholders, and the second one is payment to preference shareholders, and it should not include, that is PC, should not include number 1, that is payments to debenture holders and the payment to any other outside liabilities. There are the two sets of provisions stated under accounting standard number 14. The first set states that PC includes only the payment made to the equity holders and also the payment made to the preference shareholders, and PC should not include any payment made to the debenture holders and the payment made to the any outside liabilities which are to be settled in the purchasing company. Okay, so in almost all the cases, wherever we are going to calculate the purchase consideration under net payment method, you have to follow the provisions stated under AS 14, that is what is to be included and what not to be included. Let us see the calculation of purchase consideration under net payment method by taking a problem as an example. The problem given here is D Limited was acquired by N Limited. Here D Limited is the vendor company, N Limited is the purchasing company. The given information is the share capital of D Limited was 4,000 shares of rupees 100 each. N Limited issued 2 shares of rupees 60 at rupees 65 per share and also agreed to pay rupees 2 in cash to the shareholders of D Limited in exchange for 2 shares in the D Limited. D Limited has sold 1/4 shares received from the N Limited at an average rate of rupees 63 per share. So the question is, give the statement of purchase consideration and give journal entries affecting the sale of shares in the books of D Limited. Here the question is in respect of the D Limited, that is vendor company. In this problem, to calculate the purchase consideration, it is given that the exchange ratio, that is the shares to be exchanged between the purchasing company and vendor company. Whenever the exchange ratio is given, to calculate the number of shares to be issued by the purchasing company, first of all we have to calculate the total shares to be issued by the purchasing company by applying a formula. The formula applicable for the calculation of number of shares to be issued by the purchasing company, that is number of shares to be issued by the purchasing company is equal to, the formula applicable is total shares in purchasing company divided by vendor company shares in the exchange overall into purchasing company shares in the exchange. By applying this one, by replacing this formula in terms of number of shares given here is the total shares in the vendor company, that is D Limited, is 4,000 shares. For this one, the purchasing company N Limited is going to issue 2 shares of rupees 60 at 65 per share and also agree to pay rupees 2 in cash to the shareholders of vendor company in exchange for 2 shares, that is 2 shares. So total shares in the vendor company is, total shares in the vendor company is 4,000 and purchasing company shares in exchange is 2 and also vendor company shares in exchange is 2. Therefore, total shares to be issued by the purchasing company in exchange is 4,000 shares. So taking the 4,000 shares here, we have to calculate number 1, that is payment in shares. So here that is the purchasing company is going to issue the shares of rupees 60 but at rupees 65, in the sense there is a premium of rupees 5 per share. Therefore here capital is equal to 4000 into 60 and the premium in the issue is equal to, that is 4000 into rupees 5. So this is 2,40,000 in the form of capital, and here 20,000 in the form of premium. Then the total amount payable in the form of shares is 2,60,000. The amount to be payable by the purchasing company to the vendor company in the form of shares is, that is, they are going to issue 4,000 shares. 4,000 shares of rupees 60 face value, that comes to rupees 2,40,000, and there is a premium of 5 per share. Therefore 4,000 into 5 is equal to 20,000. Total amount payable in the form of shares by the purchasing company is rupees 2,60,000, and secondly they are going to pay in the form of cash, that is payment in cash. Payment in cash. The total number of shares in the vendor company is rupees 4,000, and per share the purchasing company is going to pay rupees 2 as cash. So therefore at the rate of rupees 2 per share for the total 4,000 shares, it comes to rupees 8,000 rupees. So therefore here total purchase consideration is equal to 2,68,000 rupees. That is face value 2,40,000, premium 20,000, total amount payable in the form of shares is 2,60,000, and the amount paid in the form of cash is 8,000. The total purchase consideration comes around rupees 2,68,000. So in addition to the calculation of purchase consideration, it is directed in the problem that D Limited sold 1/4 of the shares received in the N Limited at an average rate of rupees 63. So whenever the number of shares received in the purchase consideration is 4,000 as per the calculation, out of the 4,000 shares received by the vendor company, 1/4 of 4,000 shares are sold at an average rate of rupees 63. So whenever such an incident takes place, there may be a chances for arisal of profit or loss from the sale of shares, what we have to calculate here. So then the next step is calculation of profit or loss. Calculation of profit or loss on sale of shares, that too by the vendor company. Here number of shares sold, first of all you have to calculate number of shares sold is equal to total shares received are 4,000 and the proportion of shares sold given is 1/4. So therefore number of shares sold is 1,000 shares are sold by the vendor company, and the rate received is 65. So that is loss per share here. Loss per share sold is equal to the price received by the company is 60 plus 5, that is 65,000 rupees. Shares are received at a rate of 65,000, but the same shares are sold by the vendor company at rupees 63. Therefore, there is a loss of rupees 2 per share. Then total loss on sales. Total loss on sales is equal to, that is number of shares sold is 1,000 and loss per share is rupees 2. Therefore, total loss rupees 2,000. Okay, so that is the total shares received in the purchase consideration is 4,000. That is 4,000. Out of 4,000, as per the given information, 1/4 of 4,000 is sold. Therefore, number of shares sold comes to 1,000 shares, and the shares are received by the vendor company. Or in other words, the shares are issued by the purchasing company at 65 per share. The shares are received at 65 but sold by the vendor company at 63. Therefore, loss per share is rupees 2. If loss per share is rupees 2, then the total loss is that is number of shares sold 1000 and the loss per share is rupees 2, therefore total loss rupees 2000 rupees. So after the calculation of this loss, they are directed to give journal entry affecting the sale of shares in the books of D Limited. D Limited is a vendor company. So to enter the loss on sale of shares in the books of vendor company, that is whether there may be a profit or there may be a loss. The profit or loss on sale of shares in the books of vendor company is transferable to realization account. Realization account is a nominal account. Being a nominal account, what are all the losses arises to the vendor company are to be debited to the realization account, and the loss is to be profit is to be credited to the realization account. Loss is debited, profit is credited. So being a loss, it is to be debited to the realization account. The entry for this effect is that is journal entry in the books of D Limited, that is for the recording of loss on sale of shares is the entry is realization account debtor to shares in purchasing company. Shares in purchasing company. So here the actual loss is rupees, as per the calculation in both the cases it is rupees 2000 each. So narration in respect of this one is that is being loss on sale of shares transferred to realization account. In all the cases, whether there may be a profit or there may be a loss, in the event of sale of shares, the profit or loss is transferable to realization account. In this case, especially being a loss, the loss is to be debited to the realization account. The entry for debiting the loss to the realization account is realization account debtor to shares in purchasing company. This is shares in purchasing company, and the total amount, that is the amount in the both the debit column as well as in the credit column, is rupees 2000, and the short note for this one is being loss on sale of shares transferred to realization account, here or in the sense realization account. The next problem based on the net payment method of purchase consideration is X Limited was acquired by Y Limited. So Y is the purchasing company, X is the vendor company in this case. The share capital of vendor company X Limited was 8000 shares of rupees 100 each. So number of shares in the vendor company are 8000. Y Limited issued 4000 shares of rupees 100 each at rupees 95 per share. Y company is the purchasing company. The purchasing company is going to issue 4 shares in exchange. The face value are rupees 100, whereas issued at rupees 95, in the sense there is a discount of rupees 5 per share, and also agreed to pay rupees 4 in cash to the shareholders of X Limited in exchange for 6 shares in X Limited. So the number of shares in exchange are 6 in X Limited, that is in the vendor company. Vendor company shares in exchange are 6, whereas purchasing company shares in exchange are 4 in this case. And X Limited sold 1/5 of the shares received from the Y Limited. Here also the the vendor company is going to sell 1/5 of the shares received in the purchasing company at an average rate of rupees 105 rupees per share. So the question is, give the statement of purchase consideration, give the journal entries affecting the sale of shares in the books of X Limited. It is an examination question of Bangalore University given in the academic year 2006 and 7. As and when the exchange ratio is given before the preparation of the statement of purchase consideration, we should prepare a statement of calculation of number of shares to be issued by the purchasing company. The number of shares to be issued by the purchasing company is calculated as per the formula given. The formula given is the number of shares in the vendor company. That is the total shares in the vendor company before the merging, that is here 8,000 shares, into the number of shares in exchange of purchasing company, that is in other words simply we can say purchasing company shares in exchange. The purchasing company shares in exchange are 4 and number of shares, that is vendor company shares in exchange given are 6 here. So therefore the total number of shares are 3. It is 16,000 divided by 3 is equal to 5,333 shares will come. 5,333 shares comes in the exchange ratio, means the number of shares to be issued by the purchasing company to the vendor company for the settlement of purchase consideration as per the exchange ratio given is 5,333. So taking those the number of shares here, first of all we have to calculate, that is payment in shares. Here the shares are to be given at a discount rate, therefore here capital at face value, that is 5,333 into the face value per share is rupees 100, therefore this is 5,333 plus 2 zeros, 5,33,300. From this one we have to deduct the discount here. The face value given is rupees 100, but the purchasing company is going to issue one share at a price of rupees 95. In the sense here there is a discount of rupees 5 per share. So that is 26,625. That is the discount is 5,333 into 5 is equal to 26,625 is correct. So then the actual amount given is 5,33,300 is equal to, this is 5,06,635 is the amount given in the form of shares. That is, as per the calculation, the rounded number of shares are 5,333. The 5,333 shares at the face value of 100 comes to 5,33,300, and from the, as per the given information, the shares are issued at a discount of 5 rupee per share. Therefore, the total discount comes to 2,26,665. From the face value 5,33,300, if we are deducted the discount of 26,625, then the actual amount of capital comes to 5,06,635. The amount paid in the form of shares is 5,06,635, and the second one is, that is payment in cash. So as per the given information, the purchasing company is going to pay cash of rupees 2 per share. So then total shares in the vendor company are 8,000, and cash given per share is rupees 4. So therefore total cash is 32,000 rupees will come. So therefore in this case the total purchase consideration is 635. 32 plus 6 is 38. That is 5,38,635 is the total purchase consideration in this case. Okay. So in addition to the calculation of purchase consideration, they are stated X Limited, that is the vendor company, sold 1/5 of the shares received from the Y Limited at an average rate of rupees 105 per share. So here, that is the next step is calculation of profit or loss from sale of shares by The vendor company is X Limited. So as per the given information, the proportion of shares sold are 1/5. Therefore, that is number of shares sold is equal to 5,333 shares are received. Out of 5,333, the share proportion of shares sold is 1/5. Therefore, approximately or the rounded number of shares sold by the vendor company is 5,333 into 1/5 is equal to, that is 1066.6, in the sense the rounded number is 1067 shares are sold by the vendor company. Taking 1067 as the number of shares sold, here we have to calculate the profit or loss, that is received price is here, profit will come here. The price received at 95 per share and sold at 105, in the sense there is a profit of rupees 10. Profit rupees 10 per share. Therefore, total profit is, the shares are issued by the purchasing company at a discount rate, that is 95, whereas the vendor company is going to sell at 105. By comparing the received price and sales price, we are going to conclude that there is a profit of rupees 10 per share. If the profit is 10 per share, the number of shares sold are 1067 into 10 is equal to 10,670 is the total profit. As already we are applied in the last problem that whether there may be a profit or loss. The profit or loss on sale of share is transferable to realization account. Being a profit, the profit is credited to realization account. So therefore, the entry is, the journal entry in this effect is, that is shares in purchasing company account debtor to realization account. So in both the debit and credit column, the total profit is 10,670 rupees. And the narration being profit on sale of shares transferred to realization account. That is, the profit or loss on sale of shares by the vendor company is transferable to vendor company's realization account. Being a profit, the profit is credited there. Therefore, the entry is shares in purchasing company account debtor to realization account. That is the actual loss or total loss in this transaction is 10,670. So this is the model of calculation of, that is before the calculation of purchase consideration. First of all, we have to calculate the number of shares to be sold by the number of shares to be received by the purchasing company. After the calculation of number of shares to be received by the vendor company or given by the purchasing company, next we have to go for the calculation of purchase consideration. In the purchase consideration, we have to show capital separately, discount and premium separately. If there is a discount is to be deducted from the face value. If there is a premium is to be added to the face value, what we are observed in the last problem. After the calculation of payment made in the form of shares, then we have to find the payment made in the form of cash. Here, the cash is to be calculated by using the number of shares in the vendor company into the cash given by the purchasing company per share, that is 8,000 into 4 is equal to 32,000. Then the total payment, that is the payment in shares as well as payment in cash, in total it is 5,38,635. So after the calculation of this one, finally we have to calculate the profit or loss from the sale of shares that is sold by the vendor company. So here, as per the proportion of shares sold, that is 1/5, the actual number of shares sold comes to 1067, that is the rounded number. And these shares are sold by the vendor company at 105 rupees. But the same shares are received by the vendor company from the purchasing company at a price of 95. So received price 95, sold price 105, sold price is exceeded by rupees 10. Therefore, profit per share is rupees 10 here, and the total profit is rupees 10,670. The profit on sale of shares is credited to the realization account. For crediting to the realization account, the entry comes to shares in purchase income account data to realization account. That is the total loss. Sorry, total profit is 10,670. The next problem on net payment method is calculate purchase consideration. The account information given is a cash payment of rupees 50,000. Point number B, 80,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each paid at rupees 15 per share. Point number C, issue of 50,000 preferred shares of rupees 10, rupees 6 per share paid up. And finally, point number D, issue of 30,000 debentures of rupees 10 at a discount of 10%. It is an examination question given in the academic year 2006 and 7 Bangalore University. Next one, case 14. While calculating the purchase consideration, we have to take up only the payments made to the shareholders, that is equity shareholders and preference shareholders. The modes or the sources of payment may be in the form of number 1 equity shares, that is compulsory. Either the amount is to be paid fully in the form of equity shares or at least partially in the equity shares. If the purchase consideration is paid partially in the equity shares, then in addition to the equity shares, the purchasing company may pay the purchase consideration in the form of preference shares and also in the form of debentures and also in the form of cash. So they are the only 4 sources or modes of payment made by the purchasing company to the vendor company. So to calculate the purchase consideration, we have to take up all the modes paid by the purchasing company towards the shareholders of the vendor company. So observing this problem, they are not stated these payments are made to whom. Whenever the parties to whom the payments are made is not given, then we have to assume that all the payments are made to the equity shareholders of the company. Therefore, here what are the sub numbers A, B, C and D are given. They are the payments made to the equity shareholders of the vendor company. Assuming that a concept, now to calculate the purchase consideration, as per the point number A, that is payment in cash. Payment in cash, that is sprite it is given 50,000, they are given directly. Then as per the point number B, 80,000 equity shares of rupees 10 is fully paid at rupees 15 per share. The next payment is in the form of equity shares. Payment in equity shares. Here the number of shares given by the vendor company are 80,000 and the paid up value, that is the face value is rupees 10, but the paid up value given is 15. In the sense there is a premium of 5 rupees, including the premium it is 15 rupees. So therefore this is total 8,000 into 15 is equal to 120 plus 3 zeros, that is 1,20,000 is the total amount payable in the form of equity shares. Next, as per the point number C, issue of 50,000 different shares of rupees 10 each, but paid up value is rupees only 6. That is now it is the payment in preference shares. Here the number of shares to be issued by the purchasing company are 50,000, whereas the face value is 6, but paid up value is only face value is rupees 10, but paid up value is rupees 6. Whenever the paid up value is given, you have to take up the paid up value. So therefore here this is 3 lakhs is the amount paid in the form of that is 8,000. lakhs is correct. And finally, as per the point number D, issue of 30,000 debentures of rupees 10 at a discount of 10%. And then finally, that is the payment in debentures. Here the value is, the debenture value is 30,000 debenture. The number of scrips given by the purchasing company are 30,000 and face value is rupees 10. Therefore, this is 3 lakhs. And these shares are, debentures are issued at a discount of 10%. Discount is to be deducted. Therefore, here minus discount 10% at the rate of 10%, that comes to 30,000 rupees. Therefore, the amount paid in the form of debentures is 2,70,000 rupees. And the total payment from all the sources is 2 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs, 6 lakhs 90 plus 50 is equal to 7 lakhs 40,000 is the PC. That is, PC is equal to 7 lakhs 40,000 in this case. Okay. The next problem is the liabilities of Zoom Limited on 31st March 2019 stood as follows. Equity share capital rupees 100 shares rupees 20 lakhs. 8% preference shares rupees 100 amounted to 10 lakhs. And 10% debentures of rupees 5 lakhs. Zoom Limited is taken over by Boom Limited on the following conditions. So here Zoom is the vendor company, Boom is the purchasing company. The terms and the conditions agreed between the companies is point number A. Preference shareholders to get rupees 20 in cash and 9% preference share of rupees 100 each. Point number B. Equity shareholders to get rupees 15 in cash and 2 equity shares of rupees 100 each. Point number C. 10% debenture holders to get 12% debenture. And the last point number D. Liquidation expenses of Zoom Limited paid by the Boom Limited rupees 15,000. So here point number A and B denotes the payments made to the shareholders. That is point number A, payment to the preference holders. Point number B states payment to the equity holders. As for AS 14, in the purchase consideration, we have to include only the payments made to the shareholder. Therefore, the purchase consideration covers point number A and point number B only. Point number C states the payment to the debenture holders cannot be included in the PC as per AS 14. And point number D denote the liquidation expenses. At any cost, the amount of liquidation expenses may be borne by the purchasing company or by the vendor company. In both the cases, liquidation expenses cannot be included in the PC. Therefore, as a conclusion, in this case, purchase consideration covers point number A, payment to the preference holders, and point number B, payment to the equity holders. So, in the capital purchase consideration, we have to consider point number A. Point number A, that is payment to preference shareholders. Payment to preference shareholders. Here, the information given is preference shareholders to get rupees 20 in cash and 9% preference share of rupees 100 each. Here, proportionate is not given. Ratio of exchange is not given. That directly they are going to state that they are going to issue 1 in the sense the exchange ratio is 1:1, that we have to assume. So therefore, here point number A, that is payment in cash. The payment in cash is number of shares in the Zoom Limited, that is preference shares are total amount 10 lakhs and face value per share given is 100. Therefore, number of shares comes to rupees 10,000. So here 10,000 shares and cash per share given is rupees 20. Therefore, total amount is 2 lakhs is the total cash given by the purchasing company in the form of cash. And the second is, that is payment in shares. They are not given with shares, then we have to also that is given is in preference shares. The second payment given to the preference holders of vendor company is the preference shares. So given is they are going to issue one share. The total number of preference shares are as usual it is 10,000. The proportion is 1 in the sense 10,000 itself, and the issue price per share is rupees 100. So therefore here it is 10 lakhs is the amount paid in the form of equity shares. Then the total payment to preference shareholders. Total payment to preference shareholders is 10 plus 2 is equal to 12 lakh rupees. So the next is point number B. In case of point number B, they are given equity shareholders to get rupees 15 in cash and 2 equity shares of rupees 100 each. So here also that is payment to equity shareholders. So the equity shareholders as usual they are going to pay cash, that is payment in cash. The number of equity shares in the vendor company given amount is 20 lakhs and face value is 100. Therefore, the number of shares in the vendor company comes to rupees 20,000 shares will come there. Number of equity shares in the vendor company is 20,000 for a share. The purchasing company is going to issue 15 rupees. Therefore, 15 into 2 is equal to 30 plus 4. That is 3 lakhs is given in the form of cash and the amount payable in the form of shares, that is payment in equity shares. Here the number of equity shares in the vendor company are 20,000 per share. The purchasing company is going to issue 2 shares. Therefore 20 into 2 is equal to 40,000 shares will come, and amount is, that is number of shares to be issued by the purchasing company 40,000 and issue price per share is 100. Therefore here this is equal to 4 plus 5, 4 lakhs. This is 100 rupees, 100 in the sense it is one more 0, 40 lakhs will come. So the purchasing company is going to issue at the rate of 2 shares for the total 20,000 shares, that is 20,000 into 2 is equal to 40,000 shares to be given. The 40,000 shares are issued at a price of rupees 100. Therefore, the amount payable to equity shareholders in the form of equity shares comes to rupees 4 lakhs. Then total payment to equity shareholders. Total payment to equity shareholders is equal to 40 plus 3 is equal to 43 lakhs. And total purchase consideration. Total purchase consideration is equal to the payment given to the preference holders is rupees 12 lakhs. 12 plus 43 is equal to 55 lakhs is the total purchase consideration. The next problem is X Limited and Y Limited decided to merge together. On that date, the net assets and net liabilities of both the companies are given as below. So here the assets and liabilities are given in the form of a statement containing X column and Y column. The net assets in the X column 40,000, Y column 13,000. Net liabilities X column 29,000, Y column 7,500. So net assets and liabilities are given directly here. In addition to this one, the additional information given is the share capital of amalgamated company is 1,200 preference shares of rupees 10 each, and balance is in equity shares of rupees 10 each fully paid. So here number of equity shares are not given. We have to assume that how many number of shares are required in the calculation. To that extent, we have to assume that the shares are there in the purchasing company, but the preference shares are limited to 1,200 only. And the additional information given is that any excess purchase consideration of any company will be settled in the preference shares and remaining is in equity shares. So here, as per the given information, the purchase consideration is to be calculated under the net asset method, because assets and liabilities are given in full information, but payments are not given in full, it is in partially. Therefore, whenever the payments are given in partial, the application of net payment method is not at all possible. Then purchase consideration is to be calculated by applying the net asset method, but the information of payment given is to be applied for the discharge. Okay, so first step, calculation of purchase consideration. So first we have to calculate the purchase consideration. To calculate the purchase consideration, already told there are two companies called X and Y. So by applying the net asset method, in case of net asset method, purchase consideration is equal to market value of assets taken over minus market value of outside liabilities taken over by the purchasing company. So as per the given information in the form of a statement, here net assets. Here net assets in the sense we have to assume the assets after depreciation, X company that is 40,000 and Y company is 13,000. From the net assets we have to give deduction of net liabilities. Net liabilities, X company is 29,000 and Y company is 7,500. So therefore, in a simple manner, here purchase consideration, that is PC is equal to A minus L formula, 49 minus 29 is equal to 11,000 in respect of company X, and here this is 2 plus 3, 5,500 in respect of Y company. The purchase consideration of X company, 40,000 assets minus 29,000 liabilities. 40,000 minus 29,000 is equal to 11,000. Similarly, in respect of Y company, net assets are 13,000 and net liabilities are 7,500. 13,000 assets minus liabilities 7,500 is equal to 5,500 is the purchase consideration. The next step is calculation of discharge of PC. Discharge of purchase consideration, here X company and Y company. Total PC as per the calculation is 11,000 and 5,500. Comparing these two purchase considerations, here the purchase consideration of X is exceeded the purchase consideration of Y by rupees 5,500. That is 11,000 is X, Y is 5,000. Therefore, comparing these two amounts, we can conclude the excess of purchase consideration of X over the purchase consideration of Y is 5,500. This 5,500 is to be payable in the form of preference shares as per the information given. This is payment in preference shares. So after the payment in preference shares, the next payment is in equity shares. The equity shares are here 11,000 minus 5,500 means 5,500, and here also it is 5,500. So this statement denotes that the total purchase consideration as per the earlier calculation is 11,000 of X and 5,500 of Y. Comparing the purchase consideration of X to the purchase consideration of Y, the purchase consideration of X is exceeded 5,500 over the purchase consideration of Y. As per the given information, the excess purchase consideration of any company, here in particular it is X company, payable in the form of preference shares. After the excess purchase consideration of any company paid in the form of preference share, the remaining balance of purchase consideration is to be payable in the form of equity shares. That comes to payment in equity shares is equal to X company 5,500 and Y company 5,500. So this is the way of calculation of purchase consideration under net payment method. It includes a variety of models. One case, exchange ratio may be given. In another case, direct payments are to be given. In another case, the payments are to be given like this, making a comparative study of the purchase consideration. They are the several model of questions to be framed under net payment method of calculation of purchase consideration. Moreover, at the time of calculation of purchase consideration under net payment method, compulsorily we should keep in mind the provisions stated by the Companies Act under Accounting Standard number 14. Okay.